And again, we may be giving up on our volcano plans. Definitely swap over to the Arbalest now. Okay, thanks for the reminder, Kama. Now that we have that training up to the appropriate degree, that will increase our damage to just try to make these fights a bit more manageable right off the bat. Again, that's the big selling point to me when it comes to things like the Arbalest and triple crossbow, is your ability to just quickly make fights manageable. Holy moly. Well, did not expect, this Windrake to completely ruin our whole career. Oh gosh, as we, definitely take even more hits than I was expecting, even with that statement. And 8 health left is not great, especially since this son of a gun has a ranged attack. Oh no. I did not think this through, so we pretty much just have to kill you. Cleansing Flame might be more damage, but I don't actually know. Should we just shoot to kill and see what happens? Oh, I'm almost hitting random buttons, so that would be an unfortunate way to go. Because yeah, Bite and Claws is a bit much to say the least. We might just have to roll the dice here. 31% chance to paralyze you is not good enough, so let's just kill you. Fantastic. Never a doubt in my mind, of course. Never didn't have it, folks. But that is perfect. I imagine the volcano has already shut, correct? Not seeing any further messages pop up, so I'm willing to assume that that is indeed the case. For better or for worse, we do not gain access to the volcano here this evening. But hey, we didn't really need it. We already have some decent fire resistance equipment. And otherwise, we're looking to just safely make our way forward for the foreseeable future. Nothing to worry about there. Alright, brings us back to our favorite amulet here. I think I will pick this up. I don't know if we'll use it whatsoever, but it is kind of fun. At the very least. I mean, the +8 AC is tempting. I'm trying to think. Lair doesn't have a lot of fire and cold enemies. Especially now that we've already cleared the entrance to Snake. So we know that salamanders aren't really going to be a concern moving forward, at least in the main part of Lair. This might be the only time I could use it. It's also probably extremely dangerous and foolhardy to do so, but just for a little bit. Oh, frozen drakes. Definitely a problem. And we'll have double vulnerability to them. Oh, is there really no, like, zero feasibility to this? I think there might not be, unfortunately. I was hoping that we could at least pretend that everything was fine and dandy going that direction on a temporary basis, but even that seems a little foolhardy at the end of the day here. But let us hop, skip, and a jump, and should be able to kill off the rest of our elephant friends here. Fantastic. There's the Scroll of Fear that I was desperately hoping I had sitting around last deadly encounter. Fantastic. Ooh, and let's, see how we fare against Hydra. Okay, we're able to kill it pretty much before it enters melee combat for us, or with us rather. Did have one turn to start laying down the law there, but nothing we can't handle. All in all, not too bad. Want a polymorph we can probably just say nay to for now. And again, let's hop, skip, and a jump. And with that added on to our encounters with Hydras, we should actually be pretty dang safe to take care of them. Oh, and we are immediately vindicated for not wearing our silly amulet here, because a Rhyme Drake does show their face. that hit alone would have basically murdered us. Yikes. So I guess all's well that ends well. Glad that K-Man helped us out with flagging that as a potential eventuality here on Lair. Let's, though, pivot over to learning a bit of Evo. I might also turn back on fighting for a bit and try to bring our health pool up to a slightly more feasible level. At least feasible in the context of our continued survival, which is, you know, generally the goal here. Oh, I don't have poison resistance. Oh, this might be very foolish. I mean, fortunately, we can do something like this and just blast you both. But it could have been a terrible decision very easily, so... Thank you, consumables, for covering my slack. Much, much appreciated. The other option we had there was definitely to pivot to using cleansing flames from the Shining One, and that would have made relatively short work of a few evil enemies. But not necessary at the end of the day, so we can save that piety for another encounter for another time. Do not need a second Ring of Fire, because it burns, burns, burns. The Ring of Fire. But that should basically be Layer 3 done. Okie dokie. I mean, so far, mostly breezing our way through. Oh, I did immediately get teleported as soon as I entered the floor here. That's less than ideal, but we're going to use a Scroll of Revelation because I'd like to find the Gauntlet entrance. I'm guessing it's that there. Then we'll let these kiddos come right this way. Please and thank you. Queue up one at a time to meet your maker, as it were. Fantastic. It's funny that we do have a Minotaur in this little special vault. Very fitting, seeing as how we're just about to hopefully find the gauntlet around this corner. Beautiful, we did indeed. Oh, and we can definitely clear out our new friends before heading in, and we probably should also clear out a little bit of inventory space. I need to keep some of my conditional resistances. Are you the only one who's hummed the Ring of Fire while picking those up? Definitely not. I mean, as indicated by my my behavior in the last little bit here. Every single time I say the words Ring of Fire, that's all I can think about. I feel like not only did I hear the song, you know, pretty sporadically growing up throughout the years, but additionally, I was a huge fan of the Silent Hill movie that came out. Oh, I don't even know what year that would have come out, but I loved that movie, and it had a segment that played that song predominantly, so that's what I always think about. That's the 1-2 punch of the song itself, and then all of the various connections or mental pathways that go down. As my brain shuts down right as I start talking about mental pathways. Perfect timing. But I guess we can probably drop our enchant armor here for now as well. Is there anything else? I mean, Wand of Digging. Oh, not actually useful in the gauntlets. That's good. Might be able to use the amulet in the gauntlet. We shall see for sure. Regardless, we definitely want to head in here and start taking a peek, exploring our way through. Ooh, an artifact helmet. 2 different artifact helmets. There was also an artifact ring in one of these. Oh gosh, it looks like we have our decisions cut out for us. There's so many avenues that we're able to take here in this specific iteration of the gauntlet. Okay, let us take a peek, shall we? So we got some Tengus here, not great. Just because of how avoidable they are, that might not be the best matchup for us. Unfortunately, it's the only one that is fully required. So we'll have to figure something out. And then there's a Song of Ice and Fire here, can pick our poison. I'll probably go with the ice. I feel like the simulacrums are the better bet for us here, especially since... Oh, they are centaurs? Oh, that's a pain. Most simulacrums are slower than us, so that was kind of what I was hoping for, but they should all melt to the cleansing flames of the one true god, the shining one here. So maybe not the end of the world. However, if I choose to go that direction, that limits us to these 3 final zones. This one is looking pretty rough. Molten Gargoyles, and Catapleibus. Don't know how I feel about that. On the other hand, this side is all a bunch of demons, which is pretty much our go-to active fights that we kind of want to take just for the sake of the Shining One. Interesting. Well, I mean, no, they do have lightning. I was going to say no elemental attacks from these Sons of Guns, but do have Lightning Bolt. But other than that, probably could actually use our elemental vulnerability here. Just so we can say we did. Let's do so, shall we? And where we go. Okay, Tengu Conjurer immediately killed. That works for me. Oh, we do also have Summon Divine Warrior. Okay, that is pretty huge. There we go. Able to take care of the first vault without too much trouble here. And then, again, here's the big decision. So I think that we will have to go this right route. I don't really fancy my chances with any of these Sons of Guns. I guess I could go here because, hey, we have poison resistance from our fancy amulet. Unfortunately, the rewards from that vault seem pretty crappy. So, that being said, might be these Fire Sons of Guns for me. Let's definitely swap away from my Elemental Vulnerability Necklace. First and foremost, get that out of the way. Don't need willpower, so we can just double down on the fire resistance. And then see how you like my fire as well. Fantastic. Well, all in all, not too bad whatsoever. So make our way through those initial vaults, and now it's time for the final decision. It's kind of between this artifact helmet and this artifact ring. I mean, I have decent rings. I don't really have an amulet I love. Wait, why am I talking about amulet? I have a base helmet, so I probably will go with the helmet side of things. Seems like they didn't like my fire. Apparently not. Apparently it's not cool when I do it. Very hypocritical of them, if you ask me. Oh, geez. Oh, geez. I guess 28 and 20 is a heck of a lot of damage, I believe is what they call that in the industry. I was hoping our Cleansing Flame would be slightly more effective, but evidently not exactly the lifesaver I was hoping for. I failed a 2% chance. That's pretty rough, but fortunately was but a speed bump on the way to great victory. Oh, son of a gun, it's a helmet of harm. That's not what I wanted, silly DCSS. I don't even know if I feel confident wearing that. I mean, we have an okay amount of health overall. Would it be crazy to wear this against the Minotaur? Probably, because it's going to be like one javelin to the chest and we're out of business, I feel. And it doesn't give us that much more defense. 2 AC, I mean, it is a sizable increase, you know, a 1/6 addition to our current stats, but probably not worth an untimely death at the end of it all. On the other hand, generally, Minotaur does not have elemental attacks, is what I was gonna say. Unfortunately, this Minotaur had other plans in mind. But let's bring you out here, my friend. We no longer have the ability to phone friends. but that's fine. Fortunately, they do have the plate armor ponderousness, so they might actually be... Oh no, they're slightly faster than me still. Yikes. Don't love that. Well, let's do some summoning and see how our friends do. Fantastic. Great work, kiddos. Keep it up. Very proud of you. You did great out there. And let's pick up some goodies, shall we? Don't really need the wand of polymorphs, so we can just leave that behind for the moment here. Go through a few more of our scrolls. I guess maybe one potion to see if we get heal wounds. Berserk Rage, not quite. I feel like Harm is better when you're somewhat durable and can do AoE damage, like for spamming Cleansing Flame. Oh, that's an interesting strategy. Go harming and just constantly throw out Cleansing Flames. I mean, if we're bringing in summons all the time too, there's potentially something to be said, or we're not going to be getting hit that much ourselves, and so let's just maximize damage output. But we just played a Deep Elf character, and I feel like playing a Deep Elf character is essentially like having a built-in harm ego. So maybe we'll take a break from being quite such a glass cannon, and we'll see how we fare in a bit more of a standard run here, shall we? But we'll see. We brought the helmet with us and might change our mind as time goes on here. Arbalest already doing good work. Yeah, no, we're not hurting too much for damage at the moment. I would agree for sure. Staff of Death, no thank you. It's almost a bit of a shame the Shining One doesn't even want you like holding the Staff of Death, because at the end of the day, it also gives you resistance from negative energy, which, like, isn't that kind of what you want? The Shining One? Getting kind of mixed messages here, mixed signals. I'm not sure what you're looking for in this this day and age. Also, before I forget, what else did I leave here? Wand of Digging. I mean, the enchantment scrolls we can probably come back for at a later date. Scroll of Torment, there we go. That frees up an inventory space nicely for us. And, right, Elemental Vulnerability. I'm still wearing it. We actually fought a Rhyme Drake without really noticing that's on, so that's not great. Don't do that, me. But we'll pretend it was never a problem and just keep on keeping on, I guess. Unfortunately, that side of it is going just fine because we are indeed keeping on and things are going smoothly. Weren't for the vulnerabilities, it would be good. It would definitely be almost too good. But... Or no, you were saying it... Oh, I see. If it was just a single vulnerability instead of the double stacks, it would be alright. True. At least that way you have some ability to, you know, mitigate the disadvantages it imposes. However, in this case, yeah, you're kind of just saying, if I run into a single enemy that deals elemental damage, I'm okay just to fold on the spot. Curl up in a ball and let them do as they will. Which is definitely not our ideal strategy as we make our way through the dungeon. Wow, as we hit our Evo skill cap as well. I mean, what else do we even want here? There's no guarantee that we get a triple crossbow, so I don't necessarily want to start or continue training our ranged weapons too much further. Ooh. A bit more invocations could probably be useful, though. Again, unlike Kiku, chances are, when I'm playing with the Shining One, I'm gonna be taking full advantage of all of our God-given abilities. So definitely want to keep that in the forefront. There we go. Now we're outputting enough damage to start taking care of our elephant friends. Going down to 20 HP was probably a little bit riskier than I should have let that go on for, but not the end of the world. And ironically, those blink frogs would have been infinitely more terrifying if they did not jump around sporadically, because I was not prepared to be surrounded by them, but as is, not too big of a deal whatsoever. So let's pivot over to Orc, since Layer 5 is looking to be a little bit of a non-starter for us, at least slightly more dangerous than I would otherwise like. So we'll play it on the slightly safer end, and we'll head down to Orc and see how we fare over this direction. I mean, we no longer really... We're desperately excited for Orc because we found an early Arbalist outside in the regular dungeon, but still hoping that we can potentially even find like an enchanted Arbalist, get something slightly better going for us here. Could even always swap over to a hand cannon if we were feeling so inclined. So I guess we'll keep that at the back of our mind as potential options for the future. Let's bring all these kids upstairs and then jump out. That's actually a huge advantage of Barachi, is that even if you're surrounded after heading back up a stairwell, you still have some amount of recourse to regain your ground advantage, or I guess your space advantage, maybe the more accurate assessment or way to describe it. But holy moly. Some smiting. Oh, confusion coming in is not great either. Let's start there. Let these buddies take a step in so that Cleansing Flame can take care of the problem for us. There we go. Still less than ideal for sure, especially since we're burning through Piety at a slightly higher rate than I would like. Fortunately, we're not really getting too much opportunity to replenish our Piety here, which isn't too unusual. Unfortunately, demons don't show up in huge volumes until a little bit later into the run, so generally you're waiting for those final stages or those later stages before being able to fully operate under the guidance of the Shining One here. Oh, looks like we did end up with a ranged theme to the end here. It's not actually great for us, so we take shots from every which way. We did get Summon Divine Warrior back, so we could actually use that. And also, I kind of need to fight the centaurs when they show up because they're a bit too fast for us, unfortunately, but otherwise a little bit safer when it's just the orcs and our laughs in the distance. Can't even imagine, yeah, coming across any of the main... I mean, like, we ran into Azrael, so if we were wearing that amulet of elemental vulnerability when we first ran into that son of a gun, oh boy, would it have been a different story. Just another regular Arbalist, unfortunately, is all we have for our troubles so far. A whole bunch of orc bows also. But again, pretty content in our Arbalist lifestyle now. Oh me, oh my. That is a lot of crossfire. Well, let's head back up to our stairwell once again. In fact, we can just let this buddy follow us and catch up a little bit. Anyone else? Yes. Kind of hoping at this point that just a few of them realized which direction we went and we can start to do a little bit of the cleaning up in advance. Because yeah, taking arrows from the entire coterie here, not really an option. At least didn't seem to be feasible on the first couple attempts, so more than happy to space them out a little bit further than that.